What up, what up, what up, Entourage? Welcome, Week 10 rankings. You're going to notice that a lot of the rankings are based on pretty much three things. Game flow, talent, and matchup. Well, guys, let's get into it.
The fantasy football Entourage are winning.
All right. So let's get the house cleaning out the way, ladies and gentlemen. Betting group. Thank you for everybody that's taking advantage of the special. It's $10, 5 to 10 games. I won 8-3 last week. I believe like 6-4 or something the week before, and 8-3. So the percentages are crazy, and it's crazy cheap. And I'm giving you guys the free premium content, guys. It's like $10, 5 to 10 games. You make money. You get the premium content, and not only that, if you don't want to pay me anything, you sign up with Monkey Knife, which is really where I've been doing my damage in player props. You sign up with the promo code RAPPER, you send me a screenshot, and I will help you for free just for using my affiliate code RAPPER. Yes, so you don't pay me anything, and Monkey Knife will double your deposit. Up to $50. You give 50, you get 100, and then you win because you're gonna get my player props for free. Yeah, it's that easy, guys. So $10, premium content. Shoot, you can do all of it. Deposit 20, give me 10. You get the premium content. You get my games. You get my player props, and Monkey Knife will double your amount. Pretty crazy. All right. You just want the premium content for the rest of the year. It's $5, 4 emails a week. You guys know the deal. Waiver wire, free agent gems on Tuesday, Wednesday, full list of buy, sell, hold, trade targets. And then my first edition of rankings Thursday, complete list, not just the top 10, which we'll be going over here shortly. And then an updated version on Saturday. All right, guys, let's get into it. Running backs. Should we start with running backs? Yeah. Dalvin Cook. Number one, it's kind of obvious. He's facing Chicago. I don't think matchup really matters when it comes to Dalvin Cook because Chicago is actually better defending the pass. Okay, so it's going to probably be a low-scoring defensive type of game. You know, Dalvin Cook's also, very much a participant in the passing game, I should say. So he's on fire. He's going to get a ton of work. One of the few, workhorses in this league. So he's got to be number one. Aaron Jones, number two. That has more to do with the matchup. He's going against the Jags. They're at home. They'll probably be up big. They'll probably want to run the ball. I could see Aaron Jones getting like 2 or 3 touchdowns this game, even though he does split with Jamal Williams. Number 3, Alvin Kamara versus San Francisco. I could see him getting at least, 5 or 6 receptions this game, 80 yards type of deal. He's actually been very good running the football. I think he's probably having his best year on the ground as well. But I think, Alvin Kamara does most of his damage, in the passing game. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see now that, Michael Thomas is back for a second straight week, how Alvin Kamara's role continues to evolve or dissolve, because we've seen this before when there's been players injured on the Saints. Alvin Kamara's uptick in points and usage has gone up. Remember when Latavius Murray wasn't around? Was it Latavius Murray at the time? Anyway, so yeah, he's still got to be number 3. He's Alvin Kamara. Number 4, James Robinson, Green Bay, arguably like the worst against the run. And even though I just finished saying they'll be up big, James Robinson also very much involved in the passing game. He doesn't get phased out when it's a negative game script, so you gotta like James Robinson. He's one of the few, workhorse type running backs as well. You'll notice a trend here with the running backs that are at the top. They're gonna get a lot of usage. Nick Chubb's number 5. Some people might think he's a little high. Here's the thing, guys. I think players coming back from injury, I had somebody tweet me out. They're like, yeah, well, I traded Nick Chubb because, he's just coming back. He's still hurt. Guys, let's dispel a myth right here. If you are playing, even if you're coming off an injury, And we actually saw this recently with Dalvin Cook. First game back from injury, he has 30 carries. More than I think he's had his whole career with Minnesota. Well, that's not a mistake. So, there's no, it's not like basketball. Like, basketball players will play injured. If you're injured in football, you're not playing. It's too much of a physical sport. Okay? Chubb's practicing without a brace. He was getting 20-plus touches, which is why I was so high on him to begin with, even with Hunt. And he faces Houston. Easily top 5. Number 6, Mike Davis. Matchup might look hard on paper, but I think it's a game that can feature a lot of points. Both teams have some weapons. Mike Davis, again, another workhorse back, very much a feature in the passing game as well, where Tampa's been very, very weak. As good as they've been against the run, they've been that weak against the pass. So he's their goal line back, primary pass catcher, and they got a pretty good secondary, even though they didn't look like it last week. So I do like Mike Davis. Another, workhorse. He was getting 70-80% of the snaps. Miles Sanders before he got injured. I don't think Miles Sanders should be used like that because I don't see him holding up. One of the main, concerns I had with Miles Sanders. Miles Davis was a great jazz musician, by the way. You should definitely check out some music. But anyway, Miles Sanders was because I saw him last year, even though he didn't suffer a major injury, he was always getting dinged up, whether it's an ankle, whether it's this, whether it's that. So, and he's been dinged up this year. But regardless, he's healthy. He should get a full dose as a ball carrier, as a pass catcher. So, definitely number 7 with some upside. Number 8, Fournette. Matchups there. Carolina. I finished saying there's going to be a lot of points this game. He's also the primary pass catching back. So, I think 8, a lot of people had a problem with me having Fournette that high. But it's just a variety of factors. Remember, he scored 10 points last week, was arguably the best fantasy player in Tampa against a tough matchup, right? Especially now that the Saints got Keenan Alexander. And now he's got a soft matchup and all these other things going for him. So, Antonio Gibson, a lot of people think this is a blow-up spot. I'm a huge Antonio Gibson believer, but I still think he's pretty raw, and he's still splitting halfway down the middle with McKissick, so he's got to get it done on the ground, which he definitely could against Detroit, but he's not really giving you that much in the passing game. He's getting some targets, which is good, and again, the matchup will be there, but I can't put him ahead of some of these, workhorse backs, considering he's only had really one big game against Dallas, and he had another good game where nobody started him against Baltimore. And number 10, this spot could have went a lot of different ways. I don't know if Chris Carson's playing. It doesn't look like it, but he was in consideration. Josh Jacobs, even though he's got a tough game against Denver. But I had to go, essentially, with James Conner. The matchups there. He's getting not what we're used to seeing from him, like 70-80% of snaps, 5-6 targets type deal, but he's getting enough of a workload. The matchup is good. It's not as great as we might think with Cincinnati because they've tightened it up a little bit. They had some injuries. Geno Atkins being the primary player that was injured. He makes a big difference in that defense, but he is going to crack my top 10 just based on the options that we have available. Moving on to the receivers now, Davante Adams. I mean, this guy's on fire. Jacksonville, they're nobody to stop Davante Adams. Nobody can stop Davante Adams, especially the connection he has with Aaron Rodgers. He's at home. I mean, the targets, the yards, touchdowns, he's got it all. Diggs, this should be a high-scoring game with Arizona. Arizona seems to be a shootout every game. So definitely like Diggs. Patrick Peterson is not what he once was, and Diggs is on fire for the most part. Keenan Allen, talk about being on fire. This guy's getting double-digit targets every game. Being in the slot, he's such a mismatch. Arguably the best route runner we have in today, in the NFL today. So definitely love Keenan Allen. This one could be another, shootout type of game. Seems like the Chargers are always in shootouts. Their offense is really good. Their defense is really bad. So that is usually the perfect remedy for that. So Mike Williams is going to have a lot tougher time dealing with, either Byron Jones or Xavier Howard on the outside. So that's why I like Keenan Allen even more, especially they have no running backs right now, although I do like Pope as a sleeper. But yeah, love Keenan Allen. He's on fire. He's number 3. Number 4, Michael Thomas. think this is going to be his, bounce back game. San Francisco, their defense kind of shot, ton of injuries. He's at home. The target should be there. So perfect storm for Michael Thomas to be the Michael Thomas, the first round pick that we all hope for. Allen Robinson's pretty high, but you gotta love the matchup. He's another one. Very safe floor. If he's doing it, against tougher defenses, getting double digits, 15, 20 points, why can't he have a blow up against Minnesota? I mean, he's due. He's talented. He's the main guy there. It's clear. So I like him at number 5, especially with some of these other guys that got really tough matchups, except for this guy, Robert Woods. Dream matchup against Seattle. Love the way they use him. They move him around move him around the field. They even give him some carries sometimes. So love Robert Woods and what should be. Actually, I don't know if this is going to be a high-scoring game. I guess you got to kind of assume because Seattle's defense is so bad. Rams coming off a bye, but the Rams traditionally have played Russell Wilson good, but they've also been in a couple shootouts, So this game, I feel like it go either way, especially the Rams are going to be, coming off a bye. They had 2 weeks to prepare for Seattle, but it's also kind of weird with no fans. I think we're starting to see now the impact, the emotional and mental impact it is to play in front of large crowds because I don't know the numbers personally, but from what I've seen, seems like a lot of these games are higher scoring. So I think that kind of neutralizes it, not playing with fans. But regardless, the Rams defense has been pretty good. They're familiar with Russell Wilson. But Robert Woods got nothing to do with either. I like Robert Woods. D-Hop or DK, I got DK 1. I don't know if I should put DK or D-Hop. They're kind of in the same situation. DK is facing Jalen Ramsey. That's going to be exciting. 2 physical, receiver and corner. I don't think there's a corner out there more physical than Jalen Ramsey. So I'm really looking forward to that. D-Hop is another player. He's facing Tre'Davious White, who DK actually did amazing against. But I think also DK has a big advantage facing some of these tougher corners because there's not a corner that's bigger than DK. And there's not a corner that's faster than DK. So, DeAndre Hopkins has to rely more on being crafty and a great route runner and things like that, which obviously he is, but he doesn't have that physical advantage that DK might have. So I have DK one spot above. But I don't know. I think I might even like D-Hop a little more. Just because he's at home and I think it could be a higher scoring game, but both of them have shootout potential. I don't know. You see how I go back and forth. And this list already changed from the list I even had yesterday on my Instagram. So make sure, guys, if you see these rankings, make sure you get the latest version because tomorrow the rankings will change again. And that's why I have the premium content so you could always be up to date with the latest. And one guy I just added late on here too is DJ Chark. So I mentioned that Green Bay should be up a lot. Or it could be, a game like Houston where both offenses are quite involved. But I like DJ Chark for several reasons. Alexander will probably miss this game with a concussion, and Laviska Shenault was out last week as well. So if they're going to be down a lot or if they're going to be in a shootout, and they got no other receivers, and Green Bay's missing their best corner, sounds like a perfect storm to me, and I love Chark, talent-wise, quarterback who could throw the ball deep downfield and, give Chark some opportunities to go catch some of those 50-50 balls, I think should be a pretty good one for Chark. And last but not least, Boyd. Pittsburgh secondary hasn't been quite as good as they were last season, and their biggest weak spot has been against the slot, where Tyler Boyd plays. Obviously, the chemistry between him and Burrow's there. Pittsburgh should score points. Cincinnati, every game they've been in have scored points or been in shootouts. So, Tyler Boyd, another great start for him. Cracks my top 10. And then for tight end, I like Waller. This should be a high-scoring game as well. Two bad defenses, Las Vegas and Denver. Waller's The best since Kittle's out and Kelsey is on a bye. Hockenson versus the team Washington. They've been absolutely horrible. Galladay should be missing this game again. Hockenson has been quite productive the last couple of weeks. He was banged up, but it looks like he practiced today, so Hockenson should be good to go. Number 2. Number 3, Noah Fant. Somebody kept asking me, why do you keep putting Noah Fant so high? I mean, he's shown flashes, and he does good till he gets injured, but he practiced in full, and again, I just finished saying, Las Vegas, Denver is going to be a high-scoring game, and tight end's, quite frankly, a shit show, so Fant deserves that. He should get targets. Ingram's been getting a lot of targets, too. Philadelphia's really bad, and I got no problem if somebody wants to rank Engram a little higher. I just don't like it. He's been doing it based on volume, but hasn't really been that pretty. Not catching a lot of these targets, even though he's getting a lot. But he has scored double-digit points a lot of these weeks. Goedert, he's got a huge upside. He's got talent. He's one of the talent over everything guys, and Ertz is not there. So I like Goedert more than I like Andrews. New England tends to take out their opponent's best player. I think it would have to be Mark Andrews right now over Marquise Brown, where they could just stick Gilmore on him, assuming that he's playing. I got to double check on that. But Andrews comes in at number 6. Number 7, Hooper had 3 straight games of double-digit points. He's going to be kind of their main receiver now that OBJ is gone, and Stefanski does like using the tight end, especially in the red zone. He is coming back from injury, but the matchup's there against Houston. He had good momentum. It is a little riskier than some of these other guys, and I got no problem if you want to play a guy like Ebron, my next tight end, or even Gronk, or Jimmy. I mean, all these guys are kind of interchangeable. There's no guy that I love, but I think Hooper should be. I think he's the riskiest, but like I said, Kevin Stefanski's offense likes to feature that tight end. The only kind of concern I have with that is it going to be Bryant? Are they going to, include and sub in these other tight ends, or possibly even Joker? So Ebron's been on fire 3 straight games with double-digit points quietly. Nobody's talking about it, and Cincinnati's been really bad against tight ends. So Ebron, could even crack that top 5. You could make an argument for him over Goddard, over Andrews, definitely over Hooper. Who knows? I might change that myself. I'm talking. See, this happens all the time. I talk myself out of it. And then I mentioned Gronk versus Carolina. Game should feature. I don't like Gronk as much. Gronk I was very down on, obviously. Then he had a good run, but you notice he had a good run when a lot of people were injured. Fournette was injured, Godwin was injured, Evans has been kind of banged up. So yeah, Gronk has stepped into that role. Plus OJ Howard got injured. But now that they have a full arsenal, Fournette's there. They also added AB, Godwin, and Evans are playing. I don't like Gronk. He's back to being on my shit list and what I thought he'd be coming into the year. And last but not least, Jimmy Graham. He's actually been a lot better than anybody could have envisioned. And surprisingly has stayed healthy, which has been an issue. And even when he wasn't healthy, he wasn't nothing special. But he's getting the job done, especially in this tight end climate. Those 10 points mean a lot when you got players that are getting in the low single digits and stuff. So I know my first quarterback. All right, so yeah, it was Murray. Okay. Buffalo's defense hasn't been what we all expected. Murray's at home. It'll be a shootout with him and Josh Allen. And typically when teams travel all the way to the West Coast, and Murray can get it done with his legs, so he's on fire. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Josh Allen's number 2, same thing, shootout. He could also run. Number 3 is Aaron Rodgers at home against the lowly Jags. Number 4, Justin Herbert. And going against Miami, he's just been a consistent, borderline 300 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns type player. He could also get it done with his legs as well. Very underrated athlete. Number 5, I'm going to flip-flop here a little bit. From what I had on my Instagram, I'm going to put Russell Wilson against the Rams because if the Rams are going to score points, Russell's just not going to be blown out. He's that good. And then I'll go with, you know what? I'll go with Jared Goff, number 6. Originally, I had Watson and Lamar Jackson, but I feel like Watson is known for some clunkers, and since he's not playing at home, he's going to Cleveland, coming off a bye. I actually don't like Deshaun Watson, so I'm going to put him as much. I'll put Lamar at 6, going against New England. They're not quite what they used to be, and Lamar Jackson will give you a lot in the run. Deshaun Watson can too, but does it more sparingly, so I'll put him at 7. I'll put, hold on. We have Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson's 5. 6 is Lamar Jackson. 7, Deshaun Watson. 5th, Russell Wilson. 6, Jared Goff. 7, Lamar Jackson. 8, Deshaun Watson. Sorry to confuse you guys. 9, I got Tom Brady. I think he bounces back against Carolina. And then 10, I got Tua. Some people might be surprised on that one. You can make an argument for Derek Carr against Denver at home. You can make an argument for Drew Brees at home against San Fran. I like Tua. I like Tua because, again, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. That's what the Chargers do. Chargers put up points. Chargers are in shootouts. Their defense is bad. I think Tua is going to do his thing and, throw for 250 plus. Might rush for another 20 or 30. Give you 2 touchdowns, 2 or 3 touchdowns combined. I think he's going to have to do it because they're kind of short on running game. Preston Williams is on IR, so I expect Tua to come through and show just how special he is at home against the LA Chargers and fellow rookie Justin Herbert. Well, I'll tell you I'm not going to go over defenses. Defenses are defenses, Pittsburgh, Baltimore against Green Bay. Well, I don't even like Green Bay, even though Jacksonville's starting a 6th rounder, but not with Alvin Alexander. They might get some points and some sacks. They're playing at home, but talent over everything. Start your good defense. You could even start Miami. I do think Chargers is going to put up points, but Miami puts up points in different ways. Even if they give up points, they get sacks, they get turnovers, interceptions, possibly fumble recovery, touchdown, take it back, whatever. So there you have it, guys. Now I'm done with my rankings. Sorry, I was a little disorganized at the end. And just quick reminder, guys, the bets. It's only $10. Includes my premium content. 4 emails a week. Can't beat that, guys. 5 to 10 games. Winning every week. That's a good. Oh, DFS too. That's 20. And that includes the bets and the premium content. And if you use my promo code on Monkey Knife, I'll pin something. Rapper is the promo code. They'll match. And I'll help you. You screenshot me. I will tell you what player props to pick. Don't get no better than that. And if you just want the premium content, that's $5. Alright, guys? Well, appreciate you tuning in. Can't tell you how much I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And don't forget to give a like, too, because I feel like the views and the like are not matching up. And it's not bad because I don't have a lot of dislikes either. So, thank you. Peace.